Think about it. They had access to the boys' locker room. So the killer is almost certainly a guy. Not necessarily, but almost certainly. So it's either someone who had Leon's handbook and then broke it, or it was a guy. There are not too many guys left. I mean, there are, but there aren't. Okay. What exactly did Celeste's account comprise? Let's look at it really quick. I know the other two accounts, or the other however many accounts. On the night of the murder, Chihiro was in the warehouse. It's true. Blew exercise clothes into a duffel bag. I forgot about the fact that I never found the duffel bag. That had skipped my mind.
Is there a single clue that might lead us to who did it?
Well, clues are one thing, but
But
did nobody get a look at the killer?
no.
I'm sure if someone saw the killer, they would have said something by now.
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point. Even that might be enough for now.
Yeah.
Well, someone did.
All we need right now is any kind of new info.
It's over. It's all over.
I was about
wanna
to
know
say
who
that
saw
I
the
should just
victim?
wait till the end and not fire, and then I fired,
killer.
and then it missed.
And only the killer.
What?
And it's not like they're just gonna turn themselves in.
Unlikely.
Game over, man. Game over.
Yeah! No! Not game over!
Okay. So, I think I want to fire on what I fired on in the first place.
Well, clues are. Nobody get a look. I'm sure if someone saw the killer.
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point.
Where is
Even
it?
that might be.
Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new info.
It's
No, I was
over.
pressing the wrong
So,
button.
you
I was
wanna know
pressing
who
the
saw the
X button. I
killer?
need to press the
It's not like they're just
damn,
gonna game over,
damn,
man.
damn. This is the hardest part of the whole trial.
Isn't there a single clue? Well,
I'm gonna try to use that slowdown thing
sure
this
someone saw
time.
the killer. Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point. Yeah.
Like this.
Was any kind of new
Cool.
info?
Shoot!
That was new info. I mean, I wasn't wrong.
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who did it?
Well, clues are one thing, but did
Nobody get a look at the
Come
I'm sure
again?
if someone saw the killer. Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point. Yeah. It's over. You want to know who saw the killer?
And only the. It's
No,
not like
I'm.
they're just gonna
blah, 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 blah.
turn them-
Themselves, it came over, man.
Life is difficult. Well, I don't know why this section is so hard for me to wrap my head around.
Clues are.
And yet
Nobody
here
get a
we
look. I'm sure
are.
if someone saw the killer. Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point.
I suppose I kind of
It's
stopped
over.
reading at this
Who
point.
saw the victim? The killer.
This. Only the killer is wrong. Celeste also saw the victim.
I believe someone else did see the victim before he was murdered. What do you think, Celeste?
Now that you mention it, yes, I did see him.
Huh? Really?
Yep, in the warehouse.
But I suppose only Makoto knows about this. The
Makoto.
rest of you had no idea, did you? That is why you're all making such ugly noises.
whatever. Just hurry up and tell us.
It was last night, right before nighttime. I saw Chihiro in the dormitory warehouse. I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag. And then, I assume, he headed off to exercise.
A track jacket and a duffel bag. But we didn't find anything like that at the murder scene.
Exactly.
It seems likely that the culprit destroyed them to get rid of any evidence.
And that is when he said something that struck me as rather odd. Chihiro told me he was in a hurry. But why would he be in a hurry? Only if someone were waiting for him, I should think.
So, Mr. Fujisaki was on his way to meet with someone, and then they were going to work out together?
But Hina and I had invited him to exercise with us plenty of times, and he always declined.
And now you know
Probably
why.
because he was afraid you'd find out the secret he was hiding, right?
He couldn't access the girls' locker room.
Which means that conversely, he must have trusted whoever he was meeting with very much. Enough so that he was willing to risk his secret being revealed.
Oh, what a marvelous friendship!
The point is, whoever he met up with is the culprit, right? So we just gotta figure out who it was.
Most likely.
But knowing what we know, I can't even guess.
No. You already have what you need to make the connection.
Huh?
You know who the killer is.
Yeah.
Seriously? Who is it? Who's the killer?
Think back to the track jacket and duffel bag the killer disposed of. Focus on the details of these items, and it should become obvious who was waiting for him.
Are you sure about that? You really think we can figure out who did it based on 2 pieces of evidence that we don't have?
What? You want to track down some fingerprints or something?
Even if we had the equipment for that, we wouldn't know how to use it.
We don't even have the items, guys.
As was noted, the evidence is already gone. There's nothing to get fingerprints from.
Maybe, but we can make certain inferences if we just take the time to talk it out.
Indeed.
Easy for you to say. But fine. Celeste, did you notice anything special about the bag or jacket? The bag was just a normal duffel bag from the warehouse. All the bags in there are the same, so I can't imagine what would make that one special.
Well, if I remember right, there was a decent variety of tracksuits to choose from. Do you think there might be some connection between the culprit and Chihiro's jacket?
Potentially.
Perhaps. Let's explore that and talk a bit more about the jacket he took.
I believe, Makoto, that it does. If we look through these... I think we have everything that we need to know. Is it, Makoto? It's not so crazy to think about, is it? We have Celeste's account once more.
First of all, we know where Chihiro was headed.
Oh, that's a
He was on
long
his
one.
way
Holy
to go
cow.
exercise.
That's a lot.
So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it! He picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing.
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him? My tracksuit is black.
I don't even have a tracksuit.
We know.
Because exercising sucks.
Okay.
I have a white tracksuit personally. I got it from the warehouse, if you must know.
Thank you,
Did any
Hiro.
of that really help us get any closer to figuring out who the culprit is?
It will.
No way. Not a chance.
Because if we take a look really quickly one more time at Celeste's account, stuffing some blue exercise clothes into a duffel bag. Oh, no. This is what I want to know. Fast forward, please. I agree.
First of all, we know he was on his way to go, so next we have to... Why did he choose the specific...
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it!
He picked that... It matched the one the culprit...
So, what you're saying, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him?
I don't think we've mentioned
No,
the tracksuit
no.
was blue. Unfortunately.
Hold on a second, Mondo. What did you just say?
Huh? What'd I say?
When Celeste testified a few minutes ago, she said...
We didn't say a color. That's also disappointing.
She never said anything about the jacket's color. So why did you say Chihiro's blue tracksuit?
What are you? You just...
I knew.
Hey, Celeste, what color was Chihiro's tracksuit?
As a matter of fact, it was blue?
And before we began the trial, did you tell anyone that?
The only one I told about any of this was you.
I knew from the moment
Mondo, how did you know what
that it was
color
someone
Chihiro's
Chihiro could trust.
tracksuit was?
Because I
From
just...
when we knew it wasn't Byakuya.
I'm sure he saw the clothes at some point in the investigation.
No, Taka.
No, that can't be it.
He didn't.
The bag and clothes were surely disposed of by the time we began our investigation.
Then the only reason he could have known what color the tracksuit was is if he saw Cherry with it before he died! That's the only possibility! Cherry? Are you talking about Chihiro? So, how about it? Did you see the tracksuit or didn't you?
Just by chance. I just happened to see it last night. He walked past me, and he was carrying the tracksuit in his hands.
Is that so, Mondo?
That can't be it either. According to Celeste's testimony,
She wouldn't have been holding it in her hands, Mondo. Sorry.
when Celeste noticed it, Chihiro made a point of making sure the jacket was completely in the bag. If you just ran into him briefly, you couldn't possibly have seen what color the tracksuit was.
It would appear you dug your own grave.
Perhaps. But you handed him the shovel, didn't you? That's why you said what you did. Focus on the tracksuit and it'll be obvious who he met with? What a bunch of nonsense.
Ah, now I understand. It was all one big bluff, wasn't it? Your true intention was to draw a slip of the tongue from the culprit.
See, I thought we'd be able to tell what kind of exercise
That's
he
why
was
you
doing.
said you knew who did it, to put them on edge.
That's right. However, Mondo was my target all along. I had my suspicions about him from the very beginning.
But why? What made you so suspicious?
Talking about
That's a good
Chihiro's
question.
complex. Because I hate him? No, it's because he was always talking about why did Chihiro feel so weak and all that kind of stuff.
There was a certain turning point that tipped me off.
I noticed it as well, but
Maybe you didn't notice
I
it,
didn't.
Mondo, but you tend to refer to men and women differently.
oh, maybe
you
this is
only
something.
call guys dude. For girls, it's chick.
Oh, it's
and
true.
After he was killed, you happened to refer to him as dude. Once I picked up on that, it occurred to me that Mondo knew something we didn't.
I actually didn't even realize
Notice
that.
such a tiny detail?
Are you a witch? She's a witch! You're positively frightful!
That's what we have Kyoko for.
No, I'm not the frightful one. Not nearly as frightful as someone capable of murdering a friend.
Mondo, was it really you? Did you really kill Chihiro?
I didn't kill anyone! You've been all over me, judging everything I say, putting words in my mouth.
Is that so?
What gives you the right to treat me like a goddamn criminal?
Oh, Mondo.
Yeah, he would never do something like that. This is a false accusation.
Taka.
It's true.
I thought you were the
reasoning on that
ultimate
is pretty
moral
shaky.
compass.
That was fast.
Well, this does present us with a problem. It seems we are all out of leads.
My time has nearly come.
Finally, Hifumi, are you
That's
gonna
what
bring
my
the
little
evidence?
ghost friend is telling me.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Hifumi, weren't you telling me you'd found some evidence?
Really? What kind of evidence?
About goddamn time.
You know, now that I'm thinking about it here calmly, it might not be all that relevant.
No one
Jeez,
cares.
is your confidence just get up and walk away? It's fine, man. Just tell us.
If you really insist, then, here it is.
You.
What do you have there? It happens to be an e-handbook. I found it laying on the ground, so I scooped it up.
It's most likely Chihiro's.
We know Chihiro's handbook was missing from the scene of the crime, right?
We do.
For a fact.
For a fact indeed. I was totally sure I'd found it.
And
But it must
then.
hold some clue about the culprit, right?
Well, that's what I was hoping. But
It's also
it's busted. It won't even turn on.
I imagine the culprit broke it to get rid of any evidence after the murder.
They're not easy to break.
That's odd. I didn't think the handbooks were quite so fragile.
You're right. They're not. They're totally waterproof and shock resistant. It would take an awful lot to break one.
But they have a weak
And
point.
yet, this one does appear to be broken, as is Leon's, sitting useless in the main hall. For all your confidence, that is a remarkably high failure rate.
Do you think there might be some kind of mystery in there somewhere? How precisely did the handbooks get broken?
Not only how, but why. It does have a weak point, so we're going to assume that by hitting its weak point.
You already told us before that the handbook has one weak point, didn't you?
He did. That he did.
You remember that? Sure, maybe I let that slip. But I never told anyone what the weak point actually was.
But if the handbook is supposed to never break, and two of them broke in quick succession, then
Then we can only assume that someone's figured out its weakness. You know what the weakness is, right, Monokuma? So, what is it?
Huh? You're asking me?
I think it's a necessary piece of information if you want this to be a fair trial.
But if I tell you, and someone else decides to copy it, that would be very not good.
Just tell us already! Why would we want to break our own handbooks?
Oh well, I have a weakness for pushy demands. But you're sure you won't follow their example? Then allow me to make a special announcement. The weak point of my cutting-edge e-handbook is when it's exposed to high temperatures for too long, it will suffer a meltdown and totally break. I flippin'
So it's
knew it.
Mondo's.
You knew it?
Yeah, because I found the handbook laying on the floor of the sauna.
Hifumi!
The temperature in the sauna can reach over 200 degrees. Strange how you don't get burnt, huh? It's because as your sweat evaporates, it creates a cooling layer of air around your skin. If the hot air of the sauna were somehow pushed directly onto your skin, you'd definitely get fried. That layer of air would get blown away. That's why you may feel a burning when you move around. So when you're in a sauna, make sure to keep nice and still.
Wow, interesting. I learned one new fact today.
That is a mere trifling speck of knowledge.
All that aside,
Anyway, if you found the victim's handbook in the sauna,
then you should have mentioned it in the first
then the
place!
killer must have been purposely trying to raise its temperature in order to break it.
meaning the culprit somehow knew its weakness.
But how'd they find out? Monokuma said he didn't tell anyone, right?
Indeed. Quite the mystery.
What if they found out by accident?
What do you mean by accident?
Mondo fried
What
his
if the
handbook.
killer took their own handbook into the sauna, not knowing its weakness, and it broke?
Then took
They'd realize
Leon's.
it was broken, of course, and it wouldn't be hard to figure out why. And once they had Chihiro's handbook, they knew they had an easy way to dispose of it.
I won't say it's not possible, but who would have done something like that?
Only
I
one
don't
person.
know of anyone who took their handbook into the sauna.
I might know someone who did.
There's no might about it.
Seriously?
I think the one who may have taken their handbook into the sauna was...
Suspect number 1. You know too, Taka. Don't play dumb. There's only one person dumb enough to go into a sauna with all their clothes on.
Here's my answer. Mondo, your handbook got broken in the sauna, didn't it?
What?
Why? Why do you keep accusing him?
Taka.
Mondo and Taka had an endurance contest in the sauna not too long ago, remember? And for the contest, Mondo just so happened to keep his school uniform on. But little did he realize, he'd also left his handbook in one of his uniform pockets. And when it was all over, Mondo discovered that taking your handbook into the sauna could easily destroy it.
No, wait, hold on. You've got it all wrong. He would never kill.
Wrong.
I don't accept this. Show me the proof. The actual solid proof.
Danganronpa.